Poured a flammable chemical all over someone's porch last Thursday. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Department did not specify the chemical that was used. In Forest County, 4-year-old Micah Napper was the only person in the car who died when it flipped and ended up on its top on the banks of a creek Monday. 2 other people were able to get out before rescue trucks got there. In Canton, Camelia Walker lost the Democratic runoff to Tim Taylor last week for mayor. This week, she's asking to be able to inspect the votes, saying she believes voter disenfranchisement may have affected the outcome of the election, in which she lost by fewer than 50 votes. In Flora, she may have been a rust bucket in recent years, but the big old water tower downtown saw the city go from the days when barely anything moved and the 2-lane Highway 49 ran right through town to the thriving yet still small town it is now, until Tuesday, when her parts were lowered to the ground and she surrendered to the passage of time. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and are not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to Crossing the Aisle, the daily show where politics and relationships collide. I'm Shaun, a Democrat who believes in building bridges.
And I'm Lindsey, a Republican who thinks he's building them in the wrong direction.
Every day we break down the biggest political stories from both sides, we challenge each other's views, and somehow we still sit down for dinner.
No shouting matches, no echo chambers, just real conversations around the issues that divide us and the common ground we can sometimes find.
So whether you're here to debate, learn, or just hear how a politically opposite couple makes it work,
this is Crossing the Aisle.
Welcome into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hey, Shaun.
Hey, Lindsey.
Welcome into
How are you today?
I'm doing really good. Really good. How has your morning been?
Hey, Shaun.
It's been good. I'm, just
How are you
obsessed
today?
with this
I'm
hearing
doing
retrial.
really
So
good,
I have
really
been
good.
court
How has
TV
your morning
watching,
been?
and
It's been good.
it's getting good. It is
Glad
getting
you've got
good.
a busy day of
Peer
court
retrial,
TV
so
watching.
I have been-
Well, you're in actual court.
Yeah, I had
watching
actual
and-
court and several other things to do prior to
Good.
making it here by noon, and then
Busy
I've
day
got a
for
booked
TV
afternoon.
watching.
also,
Well,
so
you're an actual
just
court.
trying to
Well,
fit
that's
things in.
good.
Hey, it's good to be busy. That's what I always say, no
Yeah,
matter what
that
you're
means
doing.
there's still criminals out there, right?
There will always be criminals. We never have a lack of that.
Well, that's good.
We'll never have a lack
That's
of
true.
that, and you're transgender.
Yeah,
no matter
that
what.
means there's still criminals out there.
Yeah,
according to you.
unfortunately.
According to you.
Speaking of criminals, listen to this. I didn't even tell you about this. I had a run-in with the cops yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that interesting?
What happened?
So, my oldest daughter was
was
home from school
Oh,
yesterday. Her
okay.
her
Isn't that
tummy was
interesting?
hurting.
What happened?
Girl
So,
problems. And
my
so she was
oldest daughter
home. She stayed home from
was
school.
And
And
yesterday.
so I left to go pick up my twins from school at 2:00.
And so
And the next thing I know, I got a notification on my we have a camera, and there was somebody at my front door. Well, I'm listening and I see when I left, my oldest was asleep in her room. My 5-year-old was asleep napping on the couch. And, I was just running around the corner to pick my twins up from school. And I see on the camera that my 5-year-old has opened the door. He's half asleep for this woman who is a stranger, by the way. We had a long talk last night. And tells her that there's nobody there with him. And so I hear the woman say, and I'm trying to talk into that. I guess the speaker's busted on the camera or something. I'm trying to say, hello. I can see you. And I couldn't get it to go across the speaker. And so I hear her say, oh, well, close the door, lock it back, lock the door back. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, who is this woman? She is thinking that my 5-year-old is home alone. He's not. And I'm just right around the corner and I can see what's going on my camera. And so I call my daughter and she picks up. She had fallen asleep. She didn't feel good. And she rushes to the front door. The woman's already gone. And then I'm home 5 minutes later, and as expected, the cops pull up at my door a few minutes later. And I said, hey, I was expecting you. I said, somebody came to my door. I don't know who it was. I saw her on my camera. So I think she thought my 5-year-old was home alone because he was half asleep. And said he didn't know where I was. I think he probably thought it was me at the door when he heard the knocking. And so they laughed and it was over with. But I gotta give props to Madison County PD because they showed up very quickly, and the woman was there to pick up a package that had been accidentally delivered to my house. And so I ended up talking to her and explaining the situation, and she said, "That's what I thought, but I just wanted to know." And I thanked her, for calling the cops, and then thanked them for being there so quickly because it could have been. She didn't know me, she didn't know who my kid was, and so it could have been something bad. But they got there quick.
What? Hey, that's good. I'm glad you didn't get arrested. So I don't want to fix that. So
no, I mean, of course, Mia came out of the back room and was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't hear you."
I figured they were coming there for Mia. Fix that. So
coming to get her.
You said the cops were there. I was like, "What is she doing?"
Mia came out of the back room and was like,
she's a spicy one, I tell you.
I didn't know when you were starting the story up that way. I assumed it was they were there for her. But
no, I keep her pretty in line for the most part.
Right.
And look, I told you last night I went to go pick her up from her new job, and she was like sweeping and mopping, and I was like, "You know how to do that? Interesting."
Right. That's good. Look, and she can do something you don't do. So that's good.
Ha 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 ha. So funny you are.
Anyway, well, I'm glad you didn't go to prison or jail like for the night.
I know an attorney.
Yes, we've got a good bondsman friend too, so we can help you out there. Anyway, well, other than Lindsey's police experiences, we've got a different show for you today. There's a story I've been waiting to tell from 2022 about Lynn Fitch's swearing in ceremony she had for Attorney General at the War Memorial, whatever you call that place, and a transgender Girl Scout group that I don't know.
She loves to throw these transgender.
Well, I was telling Lindsey the story yesterday, and she was like, "What do you mean there was a transgender Girl Scout at the Attorney General ceremony?" I'm like, "Yeah, like it was hilarious." And anyway, so I'll get into that, and then I got a lot of other stuff. Karen Reed trial going on in Boston is taking over national media. Lindsey is taking up all her time, so she's watching all of that.
But I can give you good pointers, from the
taking over national media. Lindsey is taking up all her time.
I mean, you got it going on. So we got that going on for y'all. There's Hungary and Europe is banning pride events. There's a
ban them all. Sure.
And Donald Trump had an interview with ABC last night that I did watch. Where there was an argument over this MS-13 Photoshop controversy.
I heard a clip of that. I didn't hear the whole interview, but I did this morning. I had Fox News on, and I heard a clip from them arguing about whether it was photoshopped or not.
Yeah, I think the way it was translated. I guess we talk about this first. So there is this photo that the president had showed, and it's got that. I think the way it was shown at one point, or I guess we talk about this first. So I can't remember his name, but Diego Garcia, the guy that got sent. I don't know. Some people get sent to El Salvador prisons. I start getting this all confused. So the guy that got sent there, there's been a big controversy over him, and he had some tattoos on his knuckles, which I think one was like a marijuana leaf, and one may have been a skull, and something else that appeared to be gang related. And then there was over it, someone had wrote MS-13 like a Photoshop. So I think there was just confusion in the interview to what the tattoos were not Photoshopped. Those are guys' actual tattoos. The MS-13 part was Photoshopped. And I think that was I think they just got their wires crossed. That's the way I took it, at least. I didn't take it I think the president thought the ABC correspondent was saying that the tattoos were Photoshopped, but I don't think he was saying that. I think he was saying the part of the photo that said MS-13 was Photoshopped, which it was. So what I listened to, I heard him arguing back with President Trump and saying, no, there's some tattoos that could be mistaken for that. And that's true too. So I did read some things where it's not, those tattoos aren't any law enforcement manual as being MS-13, and there's no one that's verified that it is MS-13. Now it looks like some gang crap to me. I'm not an expert, of course, but there's a dispute about what the tattoos actually mean. But I think the crux of the thing was that Photoshop had MS-13 over those tattoos that do exist. But the MS-13 does not exist.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty 100% sure about that part.
So we know that the MS-13 part was Photoshopped.
That part was Photoshopped. The tattoos are not Photoshopped. I mean, I think that's pretty clear that those. But he doesn't.
It didn't sound like that was the case from what I was listening to, but I didn't hear the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean the tattoos are real, and then there's other pictures of the guy's hands where you can see the tattoos, but the what they put the letters are. It looks like they were kind of making a graphic to show this tattoo means M, this tattoo means S, that kind of thing, kind of explaining what the tattoos meant.
So the tattoos mean MS-13.
No, they might. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, I've seen just differing accounts of it. Can't say that definitively they do or do not. So I don't know. I mean, that they might. I'm not read anything where anybody that I guess is a so-called expert says it does, but I haven't read anything that says it's 100% not. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know whether it does or not. I just know that the letter M, S, and the numbers 1 and 3 were not on the guy's hands. Like those numbers, the tattoos were.
Did you see him in person, Shaun?
No. But
are you sure about that?
Well, you can Google it and look it up right there.
Look, do you want me to cross-examine you? Do you want a lawyer talking?
Clearly, that part was Photoshopped. So
interesting. Well, I'll have to look that up and see if I trust your opinion on that.
Okay. Well, it just it seems like it just seems common sense too. If you're going to have symbols that mean MS-13, then why do you want to write MS-13 over it? Like that doesn't make any sense.
But you said you don't know if those symbols mean.
I don't know, but I'm saying, let's say they do mean that. I don't think you'd write it over them. If that's what everybody's saying they mean, then why would you write it over?
They can Photoshop and do so much now with AI that it's really hard to tell. If you've seen Shaun's cartoon images, I'm sure you can't even tell the difference in me and that cartoon image.
No, I mean, especially with your expressions in them,
ridiculous.
They are.
Ridiculous. AI is the worst thing that ever could have happened to me in this relationship.
It's with AI cartoons of you being angry all the time. Yeah. So anyway, ridiculous. But that was the controversy. Go watch the interview. There was parts of it that I know Lindsey would hate because the president in it.
He told me that he sent me a text about this.
Says that he recommends that everyone take the measles vaccine. He says, I don't think you should be mandated to take it. He does say that, but he recommends that you take it. So what do you think about that?
Let me tell you what, I have some words for Mr. President Trump here.
Mm-hmm.
He already has not apologized for encouraging everyone to get out and take the COVID-19 vaccine. I mean, Warp Speed was under his leadership, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, maybe he was listening to the wrong people, but I think he owes the American public an apology for listening to the wrong people when it came to COVID and the COVID-19 vaccine and encouraging that. Who knows how many people lost their lives because they went out and got that shot because Donald Trump told them to do it. So I don't think he needs to be given advice on who needs to take what vaccine. Mm-hmm. Like that fires this mama up.
Well, that's what he said, Lindsey. He said that he recommends that everybody get the measles vaccine that doesn't have it, but he does not recommend. Will not mandate it.
We saw something similar from RFK when he traveled to Texas and was meeting with the families of the children who died from the measles, so-called died from the measles. We saw the first case that was not the case. I'm not sure about the second. Or there's the newest case of measles in Colorado from it's a vaccinated person.
Okay,
by the way,
I haven't seen it. So.
But
I trust you on the vaccine, though.
You should.
Or at least that you follow the news on it. I'll say that.
You should trust me on everything concerning vaccines. Yeah. But anyway, we saw RFK make those statements encouraging to get the measles vaccine. And I think it kind of shocked a lot of people. I spoke out about it and said I was disappointed that he would make those statements because he has seen what the MMR vaccine has done to children, to a lot of children. Mm-hmm. And, shortly after that, he held the press conference and kind of declared that he would find the reasoning behind the autism, increasing rates of autism.
He called it like he's looking for environmental toxins, if I remember correctly.
Which, I mean, obviously vaccines are one of those, sure, right, especially when they're mandated.
Right.
Like they were in Mississippi for so long up until our religious exemption came into play a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But, I just don't think anyone from the government that doesn't know, that hasn't sat with parents who've watched the regression immediately from their children after getting one of these shots should be encouraging vaccines. Let's do the safety studies. Let's get them done. They've never been done. They've lied about that for so many years. Let's do the safety studies. Let's get quality ingredients in them instead of formaldehyde and aborted fetal cells and mercury and aluminum that we know are harmful to children. And then we can talk about encouraging vaccines. Until then, shut up is what I have to say to them.
You heard it here from Lindsey. I do not, ladies and gentlemen, I do not argue with Lindsey about vaccines because I'm just going to get my head torn off. So that I'll argue about anything else, but I ain't going to do that. I'll argue about the transgender horde she believes are invading Pisgah or whatever subject that it is. But that was one I'm going to stay away from. So anyway, while we were talking about the vaccines, I did Google it to Fox News, which y'all on your side consider this a reputable source. White House says no dispute deported suspect gang member has MS-13 statues, despite photos to the contrary. It says President Donald Trump defended the deportation of illegal alien and alleged MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia during a fiery interview with ABC, pointing to a photo he shared on social media, clearly showing the notorious gang name tattooed across Abrego Garcia's knuckles. Other recent photos of the illegal alien, however, do not appear to show that tattoo, Fox News Digital found. So that's what I'm
so
saying.
Fox News is saying it was photoshopped.
That's correct. So is that good enough for you? Like, I'll give you Fox News, not the Daily Beast, not CNN, Fox News.
I dang sure don't trust the Daily Beast.
So apparently other photos do not depict those tattoos. The tattoo that says MS specifically says MS-13. It has the other tattoos that are on it.
So what is MS-13, Shaun?
Yeah, some sort of, I think Venezuelan gang, I believe. I'm not an expert on that either, but I think there's some sort of Venezuelan gang.
And so do they hate America, or are they?
I think they're just the criminal gang. They're a bunch of criminals that, which by the way, I'm with them on get rid of them. This is an interesting. This is not my hill to die on with this Abrego Garcia guy. Like, I mean, I understand the due process arguments and whatnot, but I feel like the Democrats again make a stupid. When they make this their hill to die on, it becomes stupid because people are like, I don't have any sympathy for the dude that's possibly a gang member. And I think it's undisputed the guy beat his wife too.
So why wouldn't we want to get rid of him?
So it's like he's not really a very sympathetic quote unquote victim, and I think being attached to him is kind of it's not the hill I'd want to die on. I'd die on the stock market or on the economy, which seems to be working on that direction. But I would kind of leave this alone.
Well, it's like the criminals that are locked up in jail that they want to pay for surgeries to cut their penises off. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, those are like hills that you don't need to, or because they call them 80-20 issues. Like, you don't need to die on those hills.
I don't even know how anybody would fight on a stump. A bump in the road on that, much less a hill, but whatever.
That's right. They're invading Pisgah, Lindsey. They're invading Pisgah.
Shaun, you think that's a joke? You do not
They're
understand.
Coming
you do not understand the rise in transgender children. You don't understand. You make jokes about
epidemic.
It is. It is.
It's an epidemic.
All right.
We're going to our next break. I'm going to try to ward off these transgender hordes that are coming in the studio right now, and we'll turn on to the.
Maybe I won't kill him during the commercial break, and we'll be back. Y'all stay with us right here, WIB 103.9. Maybe I won't kill him during the commercial break, and we'll be back. Y'all stay with us right here, WIB 103.9. WYAB.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
I'm Shaun Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work. Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wazlowski, owner and general manager of 103.9 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 103.9 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 103.9 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 103.9 WYAB. And keep listening. The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson. When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call PeopleLease. Let PeopleLease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. PeopleLease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust PeopleLease to simplify their employee administration. Visit PeopleLease.com. That's PeopleLease.com to learn more.
Would you like a free ice cream? Head on over to Bumper's Drive-In on Highway 49 in Flora. If you're craving a juicy made-to-order burger and crispy golden fries, if you want to taste the best hand-breaded chicken tenders you've ever had, if you want a hand-mixed milkshake or a whirl with Nutter Butters, Oreos, then bump on into Bumper's Drive-In in Flora. Exclusively at the Flora location. Mention you heard them on WYAB and you'll receive a free frosty ice cream with your order. Come together.
Welcome back to Crossing the Aisle here on WIAB 103.9 with Shaun and Lindsey, where politics meets passion.
God bless.
So Shaun likes to troll me with these transgender jokes, and it's so ridiculous. He thinks it's not really happening, which we all know it is. Did you see? And I sent him yesterday. Did you see that link I sent you where Texas is fighting the furries in school?
I did. I did not click it though. I did not click it.
Can't make this stuff up.
But the reason I always joke with her about the transgender people are going to come and like eat her brains and all that stuff. Anyway, so then in the midst of one of these exchanges yesterday, I recounted a story about the Attorney General's ceremony that I went to about 3 years ago, and in a transgender Girl Scout troop. And Lindsey was like, "What do you've never told me this?" I'm like, "No, this really happened. Like, there was several people there. I mean, there's lots of people there." And so anyway, the story was Lynn Fitch had a swearing-in ceremony for all her assistant AGs and guests, and I attended there because I knew people in the office at that time. And anyway, so it was the Attorney General and Chief Justice Randolph in that auditorium. If you've been in there in the War Memorial.
Shaun attended because he's such a fan of Lynn Fitch. That's why
that's right, right. And so Chief Justice Randolph and Lynn Fitch are giving speeches and blah blah blah. And there's this Girl Scout troop behind them, and I'm kind of looking at them. Are those? You're kind of like, I didn't really notice at first, and someone leaned over to me like, "I don't think those are girls." I'm like, "No." Anyway, so they start marching around the auditorium, and doing their whatever Girl Scout, like they're kind of like military marches, you know what I mean? The Girl Scouts can do. And anyway, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a dude. And so it was the only transgender Girl Scout troop in Mississippi. And it was funny because like Chief Justice Randolph and like Lynn Fitch were like talking about all this like religious stuff and blah 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 this thing and like. By
the way, I mean, I'm sure Lynn Fitch had no idea,
probably
because
not.
She has definitely been on the side of a lot of the issues that I'm on the side of, like trying to stop these things from happening and not being in our schools. And she puts out a legislative agenda and works hard on these issues. So Shaun's got really good at this clickbait, like here's a transgender troop at the AG's.
Well, but this actually happened. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. And
I bet she was mortified.
I mean, I'm sure someone told her afterwards, like, those were dudes like pretending to be Girl Scouts. And it was like a movie. It was so ironic. Like, here's a super conservative AG and the super conservative Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And Chief Justice going on basically talking about Jesus this, Jesus that. He's really religious, and then there's this like these dudes walking around pretending to be girls, like Girl Scouts, and like they're marching. Everybody's like, God, they're all like, give congratulations to Girl Scout troop, blah blah blah. And I'm dying laughing, Lindsey. You know the way I get.
I'm sure.
And people are looking at. I mean, most people were picking it up. I imagine all the people that work there were trying not to laugh. But since I don't work there, and I worked for Attorney General Hood, not Attorney General Finch, so I was good. I cackled away, and then there was a little reception afterwards, and of course I made a lot of jokes during that reception.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, it was intentional that they had the transgender troop?
Probably. Well, the Girl Scout organization has become one of the more woke organizations. Let's see, we got somebody calling in here on the line. Let's see who we got. Guess they hung up. Call back, caller. Sorry, I didn't get to you in time. They've become one of the more woke organizations. In fact, when I started to read from some of these heinous books that I found with this obscene content in Madison County schools, at one of the school board meetings, someone posted it to the Madison Mississippi Mamas group. If anybody knows that group, there's a ton of people in that group. There's always a lot of arguing in that group. I think they've removed me because they didn't like my views on school choice. But
no way.
Anyway, there was a mom who actually leads one of the Girl Scout tribes in Madison County who was arguing with me about the books and wanting to keep them in the schools and wanting to. She asked me for my list so she would go know what books to buy for her children. I was like, you are terrible. No way do you need to be leading Girl Scouts.
So you're saying the Girl Scouts are woke?
Mm-hmm.
What group is not woke these days? Because every time I tell
Moms
you
for Liberty,
you're always like, they're so woke. And I'm like, that's woke? I don't know. I don't keep tabs on this. Maybe it's because I am a liberal, so I don't know. But I mean, like, I know because Disney's woke, right? I've heard that.
For sure.
Disney's super woke. Girl Scouts are now woke. What other group that like you wouldn't traditionally think to be woke is woke?
The Department of Education.
No, I mean, but there's I hear about. I need to keep a list of this because I always get confused. Like what just group that you traditionally wouldn't think is woke, but it's now woke. Like it'll be like the Ku Klux Klan is now woke. You're like, really? Like they're woke? Like it's like these random groups. Like the young neo-Nazis of America are woke now, like you just hear all these things that'll shock you. Like, really, that group's woke now? I don't know. I just hear you always tell me about these groups that I wouldn't think would be woke, or I'm just not picking up on it, that are now woke.
Yeah.
Like there was something else recently you were saying, like something that I was going to go do, and you're like, oh, that's woke. No, we can't. I mean, it was like, was I going to Burger King or something? You're like, oh, Burger King.
No,
woke. Totally woke.
What were you?
That King woke. Like, you see how sparkly that crown is? Like, it is. I don't know. There was something recently you were telling me. I was like, that's woke. I just didn't even realize.
Well, I mean, you did ask me to go to the breakfast at Howlin' Mal's. What is it?
The drag queen brunch.
That's never going to happen.
Which is so much fun. Everybody should go to that. It's really fun.
Shaun, that's ridiculous.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun.
If I go, I'm going to be protesting it.
You're going to protest? Why? Like, it's a private place that people are allowed to go. See, that's where you and I disagree. I think they should be able to do whatever they want to do.
Well, people shouldn't be able to bring their kids.
Well, that's up to them. That's all your parental choice stuff you're all for. Like, people want to bring their kids to the drag.
Child abuse.
Well, that's your opinion. Somebody else may want to think it's okay. I mean, that's up to this. Not in the school. It's at a private restaurant. I mean, like, they can do whatever they want. So that's where you can't force your beliefs on everybody. Like, that's what they want to do.
I can try.
You can try, but it doesn't mean they have to agree with you. You believe in a lot of things I don't believe in, like the moon landing didn't happen.
It didn't.
The earth is flat.
I don't believe that.
I know, I'm kidding. But I'm just saying, I mean, I can't push my beliefs on you either, obviously. So that you can't do that. If somebody wants to have a drag queen brunch, it's really fun. And but if you don't want to go, don't go. Whatever. If you want to go to the Attorney General's swearing-in ceremony, there may be, transgender Girl Scout people there. I don't know.
I bet Lynn Fitch was mortified if she found out.
She probably was. I really want to hear the reaction, like in the room, to like General. Those were not girls. She's probably like, what?
So we were at Martin's not too long ago, and Shaun thinks it's really funny when guys talk to girls who they think are girls and they're really not girls. And so he will even let his best friend sit there and talk to one and talk about going home with one and not say anything. That's Shaun for you. But
I may have done that a time or two.
This guy was talking to this, what he thought was a girl, which we knew was not a girl. And she got up to go somewhere, and I walked over to him and whispered in his ear, like, that's not a girl.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was like, why did you do that?
He was like, thank you so much.
Like, no.
He's like, you're lying. I was like, no, that's not a girl.
I was like, dang it.
I guess Shaun was loving it. It was like pure entertainment for him.
Yeah, I was not going to say a word. No.
I was thinking this is going to end in murder.
Yeah, I guess it could have, but I mean, it was entertaining while I was at the bar. So I probably should have done the Christian thing like you did and warned the young man about.
He thanked me profusely.
He did thank you. Everybody's like, thank you, because I was about to go home with so I mean, but to each his own anyway. But so that was my incident my experience at the Lynn Fitch transgender Girl Scout ceremony. And, it was really fun. I wish I videoed it. I think somebody else has got a video about it.
I don't think you can call it the Lynn Fitch transgender
school scout
no
ceremony. I don't know. It was pretty comical. But.
Lynn, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lynn, I don't think it's your fault. I'm just saying it's what happened. And it was just, if it was like a Democratic AG, nobody would have said, like, this makes sense. But
yeah, indicting those Capitol Police officers, you should do something about that.
Yeah, that was, maybe she got some advice from the transgender Girl Scouts. I don't know.
I mean, probably. They are mentally ill.
I don't know, but it was quite the experience, and all had fun that attended that and saw that. So there's always funny things that happen in the state where you just, because you're so conservative, and then there's something like that.
So we got somebody.
Yep.
Calling in. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
WYAB.
Yeah, WIB. You're on the air.
I was just hearing about this transgender Girl Scout thing. Wondering if Shaun was in the parade or not.
Nah.
Maybe he was the one marching.
No, I was just taking photos.
Y'all have a lovely day.
Thanks.
You too. Shaun and his transgender friends.
Hey, I mean, I guess I could have joined in and conga line or something with the, hey, like, I didn't schedule the transgender Girl Scouts. Your Republican AG's office did that. So not me. It wasn't a liberal trick.
I'm sure they didn't purposely schedule transgender, Shaun.
You never know. I mean, maybe they're secret transgender lovers. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you think that there's no transgenders out there, so obviously this goes against your hypothesis.
I didn't say there's none out there.
There's 8.
I don't think it's the pervasive problem that you think it is. That's where, I mean,
it is.
I mean, I don't think it's like, they're taking over the country. Like, I don't look at it that way.
Look at the increase from just 10 years ago
Maybe
to
people
today.
just like dresses, Lindsey.
Maybe they need a mental hospital.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying. I just don't think it's like this overwhelming issue.
And what is the overwhelming issue of wanting to push it onto children? Is what I want to know.
I mean,
Why?
I mean, I don't try to push it on children. I don't know who is doing. I guess there's some people doing that, obviously.
Drag queen story hours that are happening all over the country.
Well, the story hour thing is pretty stupid. I'll give you that. Like, I don't think they should be able to do that at like a school. But the drag queen brunch has got nothing to do with a school. So if you want to go to the drag queen brunch, you should go.
I don't recommend.
I don't know why. I'm going to drag you there. I'm really going to drag.
You're really not.
You're going to sing Raining Men on the table.
Shaun,
yeah.
You would be highly embarrassed if you took me to a place.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. Got to get a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. WIB 103.9. All right, y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. Got to get a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. WIB 103.9.
WYAB.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
When life throws challenges your way, you need a legal team you can trust, and Bain Bowen Attorneys at Law will fight for you. The Bain Bowen team brings over 60 years of combined experience to the table, from criminal law and DUI defense to wills and estate planning, real estate closings, divorce and family law, and even government relations. Bain Bowen is committed to serve you with excellence every time. Let the Bain Bowen team give you the relief you need from stressful, complex legal issues. Visit Bain Bowen Attorneys at Law at bainbowen.com.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
CBS News Brief. A new report out today shows the economy shrunk from January through March. Kelly O'Grady of Money Watch.
The fact that we have a decrease in growth, that is never good. This has only happened a handful of times over the past 10 years.
President Trump blames the report on the Biden administration. CBS's Jan Crawford on a case before the Supreme Court today.
This is a potentially landmark case that basically could reshape the future of public education and pave the way for taxpayer dollars to go directly to religious charter schools.
A judge has released a Palestinian student activist who led protests against the war in Gaza at Columbia University.
To President Trump and his cabinet, yes, I am not afraid of you. Yeah!
Mohsen Madawi had been a legal permanent resident of the U.S. for 10 years. He was arrested by ICE agents last month. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
Tom's Fried Pies. And I made the mistake. I ordered one pie. I figured, you know what, I'll try Tex-Mex. It was so good. Man, second go round, I ate the pecan pie. You will need a meat pie and a dessert one. Get both because they are off the hook.
I went to Tom's Fried Pies today, and I'm going back. I tried the taco one, really good. When I go back, I'll bring some home.
Tom'sFriedPies.com.
Your pie in Gluckstadt is adding to the family. No, not like that. It's the new Pizza Shop sandwiches, like the Italian featuring pepperoni, ham, bacon, black olives, feta, mozzarella, red onion, and that secret ingredient,
oregano. You mix in something called oregano. Oh, oregano.
Some tasty chicken creations, too, like the chicken bacon ranch served with house-made jalapeno ranch. And as always, express your inner pizza, too. Your Pie Gluckstadt, across from Germantown High School.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0.99% APR for up to 36 months. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns & Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns & Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
Come together right now.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle. Shaun, you just saw some breaking news.
Yeah, so Fox News is reporting, as well as several other outlets, that Denver Broncos legend John Elway, everybody's a football fan, or if you're basically alive, know who John Elway is.
I didn't.
Except for Lindsey. He was driving a golf cart when his longtime agent fell out of the back and hit his head, and now is on life support, and I guess he's about to die, and they're trying to harvest his organs. So John Elway was in the driver's seat when Jeff Sprayback, who's 61 years old, fell off the back of a golf cart and hit his head on the asphalt. Apparently, Elway and Sprayback and their wives were leaving a party, and when they got on the golf cart and drove off, and this incident happened. It's not known whether Elway was driving recklessly or not. Wow, this is kind of interesting in terms of whether he could get, possibly charged like an ag DUI in that situation for operating I know that a lot of times if they're regular streets, they got to be street legal. I'm not sure all the golf court rules. I've never prosecuted anybody that's been in this situation, but
so is it kind of like you can't drive a golf cart under the influence, like a vehicle?
I mean, I think you're. So I know that if you're driving a golf cart, because I got pulled over for this with a friend of mine a few years ago in his golf cart through Bellhaven, that it has to be street legal. So I'm assuming, and I don't know this, but this makes the assumption would be that it would be like just driving a car. And if you hit somebody and killed them when you're drunk in the golf cart, or if you kill somebody that's in your golf cart, or they injured
like manslaughter,
aggravated DUI, I would think. So, or culpable negligence manslaughter could be that too. But both charges would work.
Is the same for boats?
Yeah, I believe it is the same for boats. I think it is. I think I've read that before. Never experienced it, but I think that's correct.
Yeah, I used to live in Lake Caroline over here in Madison, and that was a big deal constantly.
The golf carts?
The golf carts and people getting hurt. And, there were so many people, they would call them Karens, but there were so many people who would complain and say, this is going to end in somebody being killed because
Yep.
kids are reckless on those things sometimes.
And adults too, apparently.
Adults too, yeah.
I mean, because, think about it. Why do you get a golf cart to drive around your neighborhood? Because you're getting drunk. Everybody, all my friends that have them are drinking, which sounds like a fun thing to do. I mean, I've done it before too. I'm not innocent.
They're nice on Halloween when you have kids trick or treat.
But I see in my neighborhood, I see people on golf carts all the time with drinks in their hand, and they're just, they're thinking probably nothing's going to happen. And most likely nothing is going to happen. But sometimes they do, like falling out of the golf cart and hitting his head and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be really interesting legal concept here, how that plays out, especially given his status. He's still got a position with the Denver Broncos. And
how old is he?
He's 60. I think Elway's 61, and so is his agent, I believe. So John Elway is one of the most famous football players ever. And I mean, he's John Elway, Joe Montana, Dan Marino. Like, these guys are just like,
I've heard of Joe Montana. Those are people who are before my time.
Yes, they're all great quarterbacks in the 1980s, 1990s.
Are they as good as Shakur? How do you say his name?
Shadur Sanders. Yes, they were much better. They're all part of the Montana's not, but Elway and Marino part of what's called the infamous draft class of 1983. There's the greatest quarterbacks almost of all time, came from that class, or some of them, and Elway was one of them. And he won 2 Super Bowls in the end of his career. But he just, then of course he went on to work for the Broncos and recruit Peyton Manning to come play for the Broncos about 10 years ago, and they won a Super Bowl, or a couple, like one Super Bowl. Yeah. And so he's just, the guy is just a legend in the NFL. So this is going to be, interesting how that shakes out, and whether he'll be prosecuted for this and in those contexts. And so I'd like to see that. That's going to be really, really interesting to follow how that, and that's going to, people can identify with it, in suburbs, especially because everybody's got a golf cart driving around, they're drinking with it. I mean, people can say, well, I'm not really, we just have to go around the neighborhood. No, you're going around the neighborhood drinking. That's cool. So have I. Everybody's done that. That's kind of like the fun about getting a golf cart for the neighborhood.
Right. I mean, if you're using a golf cart for purposes other than golf, it's usually to ride around with a drink in your hand.
And then too. So, but if you're in a public roadway, and you could possibly injure somebody if you get drunk and hit them, or somebody falls out of the cart, and like in this situation. So, well, prayers for Mr. Sperberg's family and the Elways now, because it looks like he's about to suffer some pretty hard times coming up. So,
yeah, let's hope it doesn't get drug out like the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah, and Lindsey, you've apparently spent your on the clock hours watching this. So why don't you let everybody know?
It counts.
Why don't you let everybody know?
It counts as show prep and experience, law firm experience, right? Watching true crime.
My friend that that we got pulled over on the golf cart several years ago just texted
Is he
me
listening?
like, yeah, he said, man, we work well together. I won't disclose his name or identity or what was happening then. So yes, everybody knows they've been on the golf cart drinking before. Everyone's done it. It is what it is. This could happen to you, so be careful.
Yeah. And, even if you're not on a golf cart, be careful if you're driving drunk and you don't hit your boyfriend in the snow and leave him there to die.
That is, and so what is going on with the Karen Reed trial now, Lindsey?
Oh, it just gets more interesting by the day, I tell you.
Jen McCabe is on the stand.
Jen McCabe is on the stand. She was one of the people who was at the party the night of the incident. And then she was one of the people who was with Karen Reed when they found John O'Keefe dead in the snow early the next morning. And she's also the one who Googled at 2-something a.m. before anyone knew that John O'Keefe was dead or injured or hurt, how long to die in cold. Obviously, she misspelled the word how, but that Google search, and Shaun, this is really interesting. So that Google search took place at 2:36 a.m. that morning of the January 29th, 2022. Yesterday, when she took the stand initially, guess what time it was?
What time?
2:36 p.m. Same time.
Same time?
Yeah, 2:36. It was 2:36 a.m. for the Google search and 2:36 p.m. when she took the stand yesterday. So everyone thought that was quite ironic. Of course, there's no way they could have planned that, but
I don't think they planned that.
It was quite ironic. And so, yes, but she says that she never Google searched that, and that there was a malfunction in the software, the iOS Apple software, and that's what
sounds like a load of baloney to me.
That's what they say. Now, she does say that she did initiate that Google search the next morning because Karen Reed was telling her to do so after they found his body. Now, what some of the cell phone experts have said, and people that have iPhones will know this, when you open up a window in Safari, when you're browsing the internet, you don't necessarily close it out when you're done. You go back to that same window and Google something else. So they're saying that this Google window was opened at 2:36, but that's not when she initially Googled how long to die in the cold.
Oh, so it's not timestamped by search.
There's expert witnesses on both sides that say differently. So it's
so that creates reasonable doubt.
It definitely creates reasonable doubt. I think Karen probably did hit him, that he probably died as a result of her negligence, being intoxicated. I think she did know that she did it. I think it was an accident, but I do think that she will get off because there is just so much that creates reasonable doubt in this case. There's a lot of things that don't add up or make any sense.
So McCabe is saying that she didn't make that Google search till the next day.
Right. The next around 6 in the morning. Yeah.
After she spoke to Karen Reed.
Right. Exactly. When they were together.
But she had a browser open at 2:36 in the morning for whatever reason.
Said she was Googling something about her daughter's sports team.
Okay. And was that included in the Google searches that they found?
I don't know. They haven't pulled out all those records yet to go through that part of her cell phone data.
Prosecutions.
They will. Yeah, they will.
So it's possible that she was Googling things and left that browser open that was timestamped at 2:36. That timestamp never changes until you open a new browser. Is that right?
But this Google search was deleted from her phone manually, and it was the only search or anything from her phone that was manually deleted. So you got to wonder, why would she delete that?
I mean, I guess she could have just sometimes when I'm clearing out my phone, I do that by just.
But for it to be the only.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's
it's like she went to her search history and deleted just that, nothing else.
But it also, I mean, to me, it makes more sense that she would. How long? Okay, let me play this out for you. So what is it? She knocks their theory. She knocks O'Keefe out, puts him in the snow, and says, "How long is it going to be for him to die in the snow at 2:36 a.m.? Or is it more likely that Karen Reed called him the next day and she was checking how long does it die? How
long can someone live out in the
cold? That makes the most logical sense to me. Not that she let me hit him and see how long. Let me then Google how long it's for someone to die in the cold. That sounds almost nonsensical. You know what I mean?
It's a very interesting case.
Like, I mean, if you knock somebody out and your intent is on killing them, I don't know that you're going to Google how long it takes them to die in the snow after the fact. Maybe before the fact. I've seen things like that.
So the house where all this happened, Fairview, 34 Fairview in Canton, Massachusetts, the house belonged to Jim McCabe's sister, Nicole, and her husband, who was a law enforcement officer, was a Boston cop. Mm-hmm. Yet they never came outside when all this is going on. And why wouldn't they be the ones that they go get? He's a cop. He's there. It's his house. Why would they not? There's just a lot of things that just really don't add up. It doesn't make sense.
But why would they set her up? Or why would they kill him? And why would they set her up? See, and that just, I mean.
Well, you actually told me this, that Boston cops have a history of being dirty and having,
Yeah, I mean, if you can approve some kind of theory, like your alternate theory is that O'Keefe knew these guys were on the take. Let's say that, because that would be something, movie-esque or what's happened in the past, and they decided to kill him. I think they would have done it but a little differently.
Well, we also know that Karen Reed, who supposedly hit him, John O'Keefe's girlfriend, she was also texting one of the guys that was inside the house at this after party, this late night party,
trying to hook up with him.
So I don't know if there was an altercation between those two guys. I don't know. I can't. I go back and forth. She did it. She didn't. She did it. She didn't.
I listened to that guy's testimony that she was texting. He was an ATF agent, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So
also
a federal agent. Serious position. And he seemed to indicate, kind of like the way I took his testimony was, she's kind of a hoe. Like, that's kind of what he's like, that's the way it was coming across to me. Like, and he didn't know really how to feel about it, because he knew O'Keefe, they weren't close, but he was kind of like weirded out a little bit by the fact that his girlfriend is and she sounded like she was selling it to him, not the other way around.
Yeah, she wanted him. She's like, we're both single. We don't have kids. Yeah, what's also interesting is that the lead investigator on the case, Proctor, has been let go from the department because of horrible things that he said about Karen Reed. Said he hoped that she would kill herself, and he made some sexual comments, and so there's just been a lot of back and forth, about that. So we're up against our last break, but stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap up our thoughts on the Karen Reed trial, and we'll see you right back here.
.039 WYAB.
Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
When life throws challenges your way, you need a legal team you can trust. And Bain Bowen Attorneys at Law will fight for you. The Bain Bowen team brings over 60 years of combined experience to the table. From criminal law and DUI defense to wills and estate planning, real estate closings, divorce and family law, and even government relations, Bain Bowen is committed to serve you with excellence every time. Let the Bain Bowen team give you the relief you need from stressful, complex legal issues. Visit Bain Bowen Attorneys at Law at BainBowen.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
The Chenault Aviation and Military Museum is proud to announce the return of the Red, White, and Blue Air Show to the Monroe Regional Airport May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Enjoy an amazing show with heart-pounding performances by the U.S. Air Force F-35, U.S. Army Golden Knights, Randy Ball, Ghost Rider, Titan Aerobatic Team, and more. The big planes on display and helicopter rides. May 2nd and 3rd, gates open at 3 for amazing evening and night shows. Sunday, May 4th, gates open at 11 a.m. for thrilling day show. Visit Explore Louisiana to plan your trip today and buy tickets now at redwhiteandblueairshow.com.
Hey everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade Show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2, guntactical.com.
Hey, this is John with MES. That's Mississippi Energy Services. We sell, service, and install all makes and models of home and business generators. One thing that we do different than a lot of other companies is we do all the work ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We go from the original estimate, the design, to the final product. That way we can control the quality of the job from the beginning to the end. We are online at msenergy.us.
Get the jump on the season at the #1 stop for all your boating and custom water sports needs, Smith Marine. Crest pontoons are here. Come experience luxury and style with a 90-day, no payment, no interest financing option with approved credit, plus a 1-year Seato membership, free cover, free Bimini top, and free inflatable tube. And these crests are pre-rigged with Suzuki motors and Suzuki's industry best warranty. Smith Marine also buys quality pre-owned boats with consignments and trade-ins on the res in Ridgeland and at smithmarinesales.com.
Attention homeowners and business owners. Complete Exteriors is now Elite Roofing and Gutters. Are your roof and gutters storm ready? The folks at Elite are your local experts in storm protection. Now is the time for an inspection and for proactive solutions that ensure your roof and gutters can withstand any storm. Get up to a possible $250 rebate on a new roofing system for all active military, veterans, and retirees. Online at EliteRoofer.com.
Come together right now.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle, WYAB 103.9 with Shaun and Lindsey. Shaun, you got any last words?
I got a couple announcements real quick. Our friend Dan White sent me this yesterday. I meant to read it on air. So there's going to be arrangements for Chief Paul Hollingsworth, who's the chief of the Byram Volunteer Fire Department. Wednesday, April 30th, that's today, between 5 and 8 p.m. is his visitation. That's a Chancellor Funeral Home in Byram. And he's going to have a celebration of life on May 1st at Daniel Memorial Baptist Church in Jackson. Visitations from 10 in the morning till 11 in the morning, services at 11, and burials at Lakewood Memorial Park. So if you want to go out and honor Chief Hollingsworth, sounds like he deserves it. You can go and check that out. And so the second announcement I have, if you are going to support Kim Wade for mayor, he's having a pre-Pride Month fundraiser this weekend at Bottom Up's nightclub over there on
deal. What is your
so
deal?
you can check that out if you want to donate some money
You're
to Kim.
obsessed with the LGBTQ plus.
It's a pre-Pride Month a fundraiser for Kim. So good luck, Kim. We're all rooting for you.
But he does have the Deer and Beer event coming up.
That sounds like the pre-Pride Kim Wade fundraiser is before that. So y'all
don't listen to Shaun. See, here's the thing: you got to understand that sometimes you don't know that he's joking when he is. I'm trying to teach him that you've got to let people know.
Rainbow shirts that Kim Wade for mayor. They're going to be available everybody free of charge. So everybody enjoy it.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Go check it out.
Obviously
See Kim
not
this weekend on Saturday. Bottoms Up.
Anyway, y'all can find us both on our personal Facebook pages, Crossing the Aisle Facebook page or Crossing the Aisle on YouTube. We'll be back here tomorrow.